Hi guys, and welcome to the sixth session of Jurisprudence. As committed today, we will discuss about the Sociological School of Jurisprudence. This school has three prime exponents. One is Montesquieu, which is shared exponent from Historical School, and in the previous session we discussed about him, but we will again repeat today. And then next is the Roscoe, who is also called the father of Sociological School, and the third one is a Leon Duguet, who gave the concept of social solidarity. So, sociological school is not a big topic actually because it deals with only three exponents and the principles are very clear, crystal clear, because we have already seen in first lecture what Roscoe Pound has said. So, it's just the development of what he has said. So, we'll discuss about that. So, first of all, from where the concept of sociology came, if we discuss that who gave it and who started it, so it's given that the father of sociology is Auguste Comte, who was basically a French national. So Auguste Comte given that the concept of sociology, and the crux of the sociological school of jurisprudence is that the law and society are related to each other. We have earlier seen what Roscoe Pound has said. He told that behind every issue in the society there is something sociological related to social. So that remained the key factor. But if we say from where it started with Auguste Comte, which was also called the father of sociology, not sociological school, but sociology. Apart from the idea of law and society's relation with each other and the involvement of law in other disciplines, this school focuses on the balance of welfare of individual as well as state. Means it says that there must be a balance between the welfare of both. If this balance is disturbed, the law is not successful. So the individual benefits as well as the benefits of the state that need to be balanced. Now this school, sociological school, it came as a reaction to laissez-faire. Laissez-faire was a process which it was rather policy of minimum governmental interference. It was basically a financial concept or economical concept which was extended to law. And as per this, the unrestricted freedom was given to the people by the state or government. So this concept of freedom or this phenomena of freedom, when it prevailed in 19th century in the society, so that gave birth to the sociological concepts and it helped the jurists to develop the sociological ideologies. As we seen in the previous lecture that Montesquieu, who was also considered the part of the historical school, he gave empirical theory and he said that law is a creation of climate and local situations. He also told that the evolution and development of law is nothing but the consequence of cause and effects of social surrounding as well as biological environment. So here with this statement of him, we can refer that he gave a weightage to social surroundings and social things. And hence he is supposed to have laid the foundation of comparative and sociological jurisprudence. After Montesquieu, the next is the father of sociological school, Roscoe Pound, and he gave a concept of social engineering. He said in that concept that law to be studied on its practical working but not as what is written in statute and books. In the concept of social engineering, he said that lawyers are the engineers of society and it provides maximum happiness but minimum friction. He said that social engineering is meant to balance the conflicting interest of individuals and state. Roscoe Pound has also given the interest theory. And in that, he said that interests are of three types. The one is individual or personal interest, another is public or state interest, and the third is a social interest, which include religious, health-related, or policy-related interests. So these three interests, which are individual, public, and social, he told that all three interests are interrelated or they have some overlapping with each other. But ultimately, the individual interest or the personal interest is supreme. So this was Roscoe Pound's theory of interest. Then he gave certain jural postulates. There were 5 jural postulates he gave at that time based on that contemporary observations. The first is the criminal, which include the assaults and murder, etc. Then law of patent, which includes the intellectual property rights, copyrights and trademark. Although these concepts were not derived by that time, but it meant to be so, that the person who creates something, he is ultimately owner of that thing. Then the contract, he gave as a third jural postulate. Fourth is tort. And fifth was strict liability. He distinguished strict liability from tort. So at that time, he gave these 5 jural postulates and he said that all these should be the part of law. Now, his theories also received criticism because the very first criticism it received was that it concentrated on application of law and not what is written, as he neglected the importance of a statute and the written law. So it means the conception. We cannot go beyond the conception. We should refer the conceptions while determining the law. Then his concept of social engineering, it was not clear because he gave the concept but he did not told how actually or in practically we will do social engineering. So there was no theory developed by him for determining the social engineering also. So he just gave a concept, he just gave the idea, but he did not develop the social engineering concept. So that was another drawback. And then in his interest theory, which we have just seen, he just overlapped the interest. So that was also challenged, that how come when there are certain, because may be possible that in two areas like individual or public, the interest can overlap, but it's not true to say that all overlap with each other. So that was challenged by various jurists. So the third exponent after Roscoe Pound is Leon Duguid. The period of Leon Duguid is 1859 to 1928. Leon Duguid gave the concept of social solidarity, and which he defined with the three constituents. He told that social solidarity is a feeling of oneness, that we all are one, and it hence determines the strength of collective consciousness. And he further explained that the interdependence of man on other man is a basis of social solidarity. So social solidarity, hence it based on three concepts. One is the feeling of oneness, and then it elaborates or emphasizes the strength of collective consciousness, and then it further explains the interdependence of man on another man. He said that if law do not promote social solidarity, then it is no law at all. He also said that social solidarity is duty as well as right. Now, this point of him, that it is a duty as well as right, this received huge criticism. Because social solidarity, he made it as a duty which violates the individual choice of individualism. A person may decide to not mingle socially, so he should not be forced, because he made it as a duty. So he should not be forced to follow social solidarity. So this was a criticism of him. So you see, in this sociological school, which is just completed, we see that all the three exponents, they emphasize the importance of sociology in the jurisprudence, and they spoke about the balance of the individual as well as community benefits. Roscoe Pound's theory of social engineering, and then Jurel Postlate's interest theory we have seen, and Roscoe and Leon Duguid's social solidarity we have seen, and Montesquieu, as is a shared resources between this school and historical school, we see in his empirical theory. So this all comes as a part of sociological school. So it's better now you are aware that if sociological school is being asked in the examinations, what exponent you have to cover, what points you need to highlight. And laissez-faire is very important, needs to be mentioned there, because sociological school came as a reaction to the laissez-faire. So hope I made it clear to some extent. It's always better to read through the books, but once such lectures, if you go through, it will give you a clarity over the topic and what are the components of those topic, so that nothing is missed. So I'll try to make such honest efforts for the betterment of the people around. So thank you for this, and in the next lectures we'll see about the other important points related to jurisprudence, which is the American modern realism theory and the Indian Constitution and Grand Norms. Stay tuned with me. This is Lokesh Pathak. Bye.